Hi guys, today I have a special video for you, and that video is related to 10 security tips to protect your website from hackers. So in most of the cases our website has such type of issues and we don't take care of all these, and because of which we lost a lot. So you already know that if we are working on a website, then that means we are putting some efforts. And if you have worked on a website for a year or maybe more than 1 year, then of course we have to take care of the safety measures of our website. Otherwise, if our website get hacked, then definitely we will be losing a lot. You already know that we have invested time, we have invested the money, and we have invested the efforts, and because of which we have to keep safe always. Otherwise we can lose a lot of things from our websites. So the first thing that you have to take care of, keep software up to date. For example, you have a WordPress website or any other type of website, so you have to take care of the security updates. For example, you have the CMS like WordPress, so you have to keep it updated. You have a lot of plugins, you have to keep them updated. So what does update means? Update means there are some minor modifications into your plugins or into your softwares which are helping you to protect your website, because there are a lot of code that has been injected into those latest plugins which are going to help you to protect your website input box, website forms, website pages, and all the stuffs. So take care of all these updates. And for example, you have a Windows operating system, so if you are updating your Windows Defender, then definitely if there would be any malware coming into your website PC, your computer, then of course those malwares would be restricted because of the security updates which are already updated into your system. Because for example, you have the operating system Windows, and the Windows operating system is going to be updated each month or maybe after 10 days. Then if you are updating all those stuff, then definitely you will be restricting some malwares from which will be coming into your system, because all those people who are developing such type of operating systems, they always working on the security measures. All right, and they also detect that which type of malwares has been developed on in the market, and accordingly they are going to protect all these things. All right, so this was the first thing, that you have to keep everything up to date. The next thing is invest in automatic backups. So for example, you have a website, you have added some content, you have the database. So you have to keep the backup of the website into your local system, into your external hard disk, because in some case, if someone hacked your website, and at that time you must have the data to upload once again. Otherwise you will lose everything. So you have to keep in mind that after 5 days or maybe after 10 days, you have to keep the backup of the latest website. So this will help you to upload the website again if somehow your website has been hacked or maybe any malware has been activated into your website. So in that way you can keep yourself on safer side. So this was the second thing. And the third thing is that watch out for SQL injections. So SQL injections means there are some lines of code, those are called as queries, SQL queries. So in some cases, if you have not validated your forms, contact form or maybe other forms onto your website, and because of that, if some hacker has found that there is a loophole into your website, there is a loose validation into your web page, so at that point of time they will be inputting the such type of SQL queries, and then if they are submitting that query, and if that is submitted successfully, then definitely that query is going to be deleting your database or maybe removing any content of the website, or maybe in some cases there are a lot of people who are just visiting on their website and they get redirected to another website. On the ads or on any other spam any other website. So why this is happening? Because they have such type of loopholes in their websites, and because of which some hackers are going to inject the code, inject the script, or inject any tag which has some malware, and once they are executing into your website, and then definitely your database get deleted, or maybe your website content get deleted, or maybe some illegal redirection is going to be happening. So in that way you will be losing your traffic, as well as the user experience would be bad, and even you will be losing your money as well, and you will have a lot of problems because of that malware activation. All right, so this is one of the important thing that you have to keep in mind, that when you have developed a website, then you have to do the testing by yourself, or maybe any expert, if there is any expert in your contact, then give them some money and they will be testing your website, because if you are testing properly, then definitely the chances are that you will not lose any data from your website. Otherwise, there are big chances that you will be losing your security related things. For example, you can lose your data from your database, or maybe you can avoid your database crash if you have good security measures into your website. All right, so this is one of the important thing that you have to keep in mind. Then we have another thing, which is like protect against cross platform attacks, script platform attacks. So in some cases, for example, you have a post that you have developed, that you have published onto your website, and you already know that there we have the comment section where the users are going to comment. So always keep in mind that your comment section must be validated properly. Otherwise, common users or maybe attackers are going to write some queries on the text box, and once they are submitting, and if the validation is not proper, then definitely your website get attacked by those SQL injections. All right, so this is one of the important aspects that you have to take care of, because in such type of things we actually don't take care. Why? Because we don't think that this is also the way where attacker can attack. So I will suggest you that the number of forms into your website, so each and every form must be validated, and you have to test by yourself, so that you should not you should avoid such loopholes which can break your website. All right, then the fifth thing is beware of error messages. So let me make you understand that what does it mean. For example, you have done any mistake into your code, and you are going to show a specific error, which is just helping the users to think about that what is the issue in the website. But in some cases, if you are giving the error in detail, that on this specific line we have this issue, then you know that those who are hackers and attackers, they understand that on which line of code you have written what. I mean, whatever you have written in the code, so they get the clue that these type of things are going to be happening in the code. So accordingly they think, and accordingly they are going to attack. So you have to keep your error messages short, and you whatever is going to be happening into your website, you should write all those stuff in the log file. Log file means we have a text file or maybe log file. There is the extension .log. So if there is any error, then you just suggest your developer that whenever you are having any problem in the code, you should write down those messages in the log file. So what will be happening is when you have the issue into your website, then you should go to your website and you should open that log file, and whatever would be the problem, that would be written in detail in the log file. So in that way, you will be the only person who will have the awareness of the error. No one else will get the proper detail of the error. So in that way, you will get the awareness of your website that where is the problem, and accordingly you will be fixing that problem. But if you are showing the same error to common users. Then if there are some attackers or hackers, so they get the clue that where you have the problem and on which line of code you have the problem, and accordingly they understand the flow of your code, and then they think that how we can break this website. All right, so you have to keep these things in secret. You should not show the descriptive error message. So in that way you actually are going to save your website, keep the website safe. The sixth thing is that validate on both sides. Both side means server side and client side. So in the yesterday video, I already discussed with you that validation is important, and there are two type of validations. First one is front end validation, and second is front end means scripting. I mean client side, and another is server side. So you already know that there are two technologies which we are going to use while developing a website. So first one is front end, where the user is going to see the web pages and all, and the data is going to store on server. So whenever, for example, you are having a form and you are going to validate the input fields, for example, you have email, you have password, you have phone number, you have some check boxes. So whenever user is going to input any value, then you have to do the validation. For example, you have a phone number, so that must be 10-digit number. If you have email address, that must be a valid email address. So you should do the validation on front end as well as on the back end. On the back end, you should write the code which is going to check each and every input box, that what is written inside of that. So in that way you are going to secure your website. Why? Because if somehow the attacker is going to bypass your client side, front end form, and if that is going to be passed, then on the server side you are going to stop that hacker. You have two firewalls, you can call it that. There are two barriers for the person. First one is you are going to add on front end. Front end means client side. Client side means onto your browser, whatever is going to be seen onto the browser. For example, a simple form. So if someone is adding some input values on the input boxes which you have on the form, and first validation would be using JavaScript. So you will have the JavaScript and you are going to validate each and every field, and you already know that attackers are going to bypass these type of validation on front end. So how we can stop them from such type of things? We can stop them from the server side. Why? Because on the server side they don't have the access. They don't have the access of code. They cannot break the security. They have some issues to come to our server. All right, so at that point of time we can stop them. So this is one of the best thing, that whenever you are developing a website, you have to take care of both these validation. First one is client side, another is server side. All right, because on the server side, whatever code you have written, so that would not be accessible by any person except you, because you have the credentials. You are going to open the file and you are going to check the code. And on the front end, for example, someone is more expert and you don't have the control, and because of which they are going to break the security. But at the end, if they are going to the server, then you can stop them. So take care of both these validations, because these are really important. Next one is check your passwords. So you have to keep your password too much secure. That should be a complex password and you should not share with anyone, and that should be encrypted. For example, you are storing a password onto the database, so take care of the encryption, because in some cases a attacker is sometimes attackers are going to access your database, and at that point of time, if they are trying to check your password, so they will not be decrypt that password. So your password must be encrypted, and that must be long, and that must be complex, so that no one could guess that which type of password you are going to use. So this is going to help you to secure your website. And definitely, if your password is strong, if your password is in encrypted format, and if your password is complex, then definitely there are chances that your website is not going to be hacked. So on the website there are dashboard, admin dashboard, there are cpanel credentials. So all these credentials must be there, are domain name credentials, hosting credentials. So you have to keep in mind that all these credentials must be strong enough that nobody could able to access the code and maybe enter into your website admin dashboard or maybe cpanel. The next thing is that avoid file uploads. So in some cases, people are really interested to upload the avatar, or maybe their you can call it their personal photograph for their profile, because in some websites we have the profile page, and there we are allowing the users to create a profile to upload the photograph. So that is actually going to give you the damage. How? Because if you have allowed them to upload the file, then definitely if they are uploading some file and maybe that file is that file is of I mean, there is some script, and once that is going to be installed and that is uploaded successfully, and if that is executed successfully, then definitely you will have a big damage into your database, into your website, because that can crash your website, because that uploaded file can be a malicious software, can be a malware, can be a spyware. So all these things are going to be happening. Why? Because we are going to allow them. All right, so you have to take care of all these uploaded files. So if you are allowing them, you must have a proper validation. If you are thinking that your validation is not strong, then restrict them for uploading such type of files. All right, so this is in the important this is the important aspect where you have to keep an eye. Ninth point is that use HTTPS. HTTPS means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So if you have S, then that means secure. So, and this is actually SSL certificate. So nowadays we have the Cloudflare and they are providing SSL certificate for free. So you have to register there, and you should add the domain name servers over there, and definitely you will be getting the HTTPS website. All right. So if you have the domain name and you don't have the SSL, you need not buy all these things. You should go through the Cloudflare and just get the certificate for free. So this will be helping you to secure your end-to-end connection. So what does it mean? How this is helping you in your business? So for example, you have submitted a query. For example, someone has registered onto your website, and that data is going to be saved onto your database. So you already know that if someone is using your website onto their system, then definitely once he or she is going to submit any form, then that data is going to be transferred to your server. So on the way, if there is not, your website is not HTTPS, then definitely on the way an attacker can do the attack and fetch the data which is going to be transferred to your database, and he or she can, I mean attacker can get the access of the database, and attacker understand that what means which type of communication is going to be happening on the way. So in that way you can lose a lot of information which can be private. For example, some username, password, some transaction details, some other important details. So at that point of time, if that is not HTTPS, then definitely you will be losing a lot of security related information. All right, to avoid such type of issues, so you have to keep your website HTTPS secure. So that means you are going to get the SSL certificate, and I already mentioned that Cloudflare, I mean that is Google Cloudflare is going to provide you free of cost SSL certificate. So in that way your website speed would be improved and your security would be improved as well. The next and last most thing is get website security tools. So there are some security tools if you want. So in that, using those security tools, you can actually verify that your website is secure or not. So some free tools are like NetSparker, securityheaders.io. So these are the tools where you can check for free. So these are helping you to identify the security related issues into your website. So keep in mind that all these things are really important, and if you are considering all these things in a serious way, then definitely you will be keeping your website more secure and safe. So I am going to share you one incident of mine. So that incident is related to the website hacking. So actually, sorry, not website hacking, but that is related to my YouTube channel. So few months before, my YouTube channel get hacked, and the only reason was that someone told me that I am giving you an offer to. I am going to give you an offer for promoting a software, and you should install into your software and then create a video. So I just double clicked on that software, and once I double clicked, then my whole system get logged. I mean, everything get logged out, and the person who sent me the software, he got the access of my whole system, and he tried to change the username and password, but somehow Google has stopped him to do any type of changes. So in that way, I actually keep myself safe. Otherwise, I could lose a lot of things. So if you are getting such type of things in your email address, in your WhatsApp, or in any type of communication, so please avoid such type of links to click, and please avoid such type of things uh, uh, while dealing with such type of people. All right, because in some ways people are just giving you the attraction of the money, or maybe thinking that you are an idiot, and you will be convinced by their I mean offer. So in that way, you will be losing a lot of things. So just keep in mind that these are the important things that you have to keep in mind. So at last, I am going to summarize that what type of security tips which you should keep in mind for securing your website from hackers. So the first point was keep your softwares up to date. Second one was automatic backups. So if you don't have any software, just copy the whole data into your local hard disk, into your external hard disk. So in that way, you can actually save your data, and if somehow your website get hacked, then you can re-upload. The third one is watch out for SQL injections. So keep your forms validation proper, and so that someone is cannot inject any type of illegal code. Then fourth is protect against cross-platform security injection attacks. So for example, you have the comment section, so you have to validate each and everything on the comment section. Otherwise, someone can inject any type of script or any type of illegal thing which can damage your database, or maybe damage your whole website. Fifth point is beware of error messages. So keep your detail in your log file of any type of error, and show a brief error on the form for the common users. So this is just helping you to avoid the clue of your flow of the code for the hackers. And sixth point is validate on both sides. I already told you there are two ends. First is client side, and there is another is server side. So on both sides, you have to do the validation of the code. So in that way, you are going to secure on both sides. Seventh one is check your passwords, keep your password strong, keep your password long, and keep your password, complex. And eighth one is avoid file uploads. So if there is any type of for example, you are providing the feature of uploading the photograph, so you should avoid such type of uploads. And if you have required, then you should keep the validation strong enough that nobody could able to upload any illegal thing onto your website. Then after, we have use empty HTTPS. This is the ninth point, which is hypertext transfer protocols, and that is secure. So I already mentioned that Google is providing Cloudflare service, which is giving you free SSL certificate, and that is going to help you to keep your website more secure. And then the 10th one is get website security tools. If you are interested, you can use any type of tool for your for checking the security of your websites. So in that way, you can keep your website more secure and never ever click on any link which is for which you don't have any awareness, because in that way you can lose the access of your system, or maybe access of the website, because in that way some script automatically run, and you can lose a lot of data. So for today, I think that this is enough. And if you have any question, you can ask me. And in the coming video, I will definitely share with you a lot of good stuff. So thank you so much for this. See you in the next one.